Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Today to talk about gallery confidence. For full disclosure, this wasn't my idea. It came up in a conversation I had with my friend Skosmo, and it is something that I've discussed before, I think, with a few other people, but Skosmo was the one who brought it up today and really made me think that it's worth talking about because we got nothing else to talk about, really. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming in. Sorare Juju on the podium, Bob Franklin, of course, on the podium. Confidence through the roof right now. First in All-Star Rare until the Chinese Super League boys dethrone me on Friday. That is fun. Let's see that lineup. What do we have here, Bob Franklin? Sorry, as I'm just clicking around. I guess I could share it with everybody. I'm not sure why I have to look at it by myself. Here we go. All right, Bob. The human punching bag. We've got, what I believe that's Hwang In-jae. Oh, yeah. Wanderson, Lee Dong-hee, Oberdan, and Lee Ho-jae. I can confidently say I have no idea who they are. Actually, I know Wanderson and I know Hwang In-jae because I almost bought Hwang In-jae when Alexander Grant was at Pohang. Isn't that where he was? But I never did. Anyway, hope you hold on. Good luck to you. Although also good luck to everyone with the Chinese Super League, guys. If only we could all win. Ian or Ian. I feel like I asked that before. Anyway, podium number 1. Congratulations to you 3. Shrew 1886. Guessing that's not when you were born. Good evening to you. Mike Baston, what's up? Toby's here. Surface. Stefan. Was I don't think I was at like late. Was I? I usually like wait until the start time to start the stream. So maybe, it takes a little while. Keith Jameson, Gator Guy 231. When button. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Rikaman, what's up? Daniel Cooper, Just Mike It. I was thinking about Just Mike It the other day because of baseball, though, not because of football. Anyway, Toby said, you just know a team of Manafa, Vargas, Wule, and Maxime will dethrone him. You never know. You never know. Oh, Skosmo is here. I thought Skosmo told me he wasn't going to be able to make it, but here he is. Rikaman finally can say it was fun talking to a player about his scorecard yesterday, his Sorare card yesterday, excuse me. Well, that's pretty fun. Siddharth said, classic lineup building almost complete for both Premier League and La Liga, and prices are creeping up. It does feel like people are starting to get there. Bob TB, what's up? Tuggy, thanks for coming in. Ian, okay, thank you, Mr. Curtin. Tuggy, did I skip you before? Where? No, I don't see any Tuggy Skosma. Only briefly on the way to the pub in the cab. Oh, all right. Get them to put it on the TV at the pub. Anyway. Gallery confidence. There was a lot of stuff coming in my mind about what that meant. Just Mike, it said I'm out of Sorare MLB now. Yikes. Yeah, 100K for July. Get back in, Mike. Get back in. Anyway, gallery confidence was the topic today. And despite everybody trying to get me off topic, we're going in. So Ian said I won. I'm already off topic. Ian said I won Kedioglu out of a T5 Essence yesterday. So I think we need to change the way that we talk about this. Sorry to pick on you, Ian. You're just the latest one to do this. Let me pull this up here. I have to go back to the blog when they announced Essence. Let's see if it was this one. Basically, what the percentages were. Yeah, here we go. So I saw somebody the other day that was like, I got an Mbappe. It was one of the FPL accounts. They got an Mbappe from a tier 5 Essence. That's kind of like what they said. And just to be clear, Mbappe is never a tier 5. What happened is that he got the 0.5% outcome, which was a star using the milestone 1, which is 20 Essence. But he didn't get Mbappe as a tier 5. Now, obviously, tier 5 is the most likely outcome of all of the tiers from the first milestone, but he's not a tier 5. And I think we need to do a better way of not even necessarily explaining that, but let's just try to like get in the habit of not saying it was like a tier 5 Mbappe. Siddharth said, didn't someone get Jude as well with 40 essence? It's possible they did. Yeah. Which again is a 0.5% outcome. So Juju said they got Lerma. Toby, I'm on 2 KC Palmers from my last 2 milestone, 1 essence gambles. So not everyone gets good pulls. That's crazy. You got the same player. And Daniel said that he'll take them because he's a Coventry fan. But anyway, so yeah, let's just like remember that like you can get it. It's not like they messed up and they're like, oh my gosh, Mbappe's in the tier 5 pool. Like he was a star, but you just hit it on the 0.5% chance. And so GG's, that's a great card to get, the Mbappe or the Kadioglu or however you say his name. And yeah, it's, you know, what's funny is I was going to mention this today, like during the stream, and I was like, maybe I'll do it at the end, or maybe I just don't do it at all. And here I am talking about it right away. So the gallery confidence thing that Skosmo and I were kind of discussing a little bit really hits the peak during this time, meaning like the kind of doldrums of the summer. We've had Euros and Copa, and the, you know, Rivals has obviously allowed other people or lots of people to kind of stay involved in Sorare over the summer, even if they don't have cards that are playing, because a lot of European cards, or none of the European leagues in the Big Five, and, you know, we have smattering everywhere else. But basically we're at this point of the year where you try to buy cards for next season and hope that they do well. But there's this, it's a very different mindset, because when you pick up cards during the season, you get like an immediate opportunity to know if your idea worked. Meaning, if this player you think is really good and they have some good matchups coming up, and like you buy that card and then you kind of put them in a lineup right away, and you get to see if you were right. And not to say that the immediate results are what to tell you if you're right or wrong, but it allows you the opportunity for like vindication, basically, that your decision was correct. And when you're purchasing like European cards during the off season, or, you know, MLS or Asia cards during the winter, like during their off season, basically anybody's off season, the time that you have to decide if you were right or not is extended, and not extended in a good way that you get more chances, but you actually have to wait to find out if you were right. And obviously the earlier you move in a summer window opens up the more possibilities, you know, those transfer risks, which can turn out well or not. My good friend Harry Trades had an Alvaro Valles, who's the goalie. He was from Las Palmas, maybe? Is that where he was? He was excellent. Yeah, Las Palmas. Let's go. And he was supposed to go somewhere else in La Liga. And it sounds like he's going to go to Marseille now. And you're like, oh, well, whatever. Like, that's a champion. At least he's going from champion to champion. And Harry was like, no, I was going to play La Liga. And now that he's in Ligue 1, like, I can't use that card in La Liga. And still very good goalkeeper, still very good situation. Maybe a better situation, like SO5 wise, at Marseille, now that De Serbi's there. But like, now he doesn't have a La Liga goalie, or at least that one. Yeah, Toby said he was supposed to go to Betis. Okay, there you go. Ricomon, thank you. I knew it was someone. And yeah, like City Keen here says, you know, you have Ederson risk now that he goes to Saudi. I mean, the Saudi and Qatari rumor mill and players that move over the next 2 months, like, it's brutal. I've already lost some important cards that are gone, and you're just like, man, there's just not much you can do about it. You can sell low, obviously, or you just hope that it was a disaster move and someone like Ivan Rakitic comes back in one season. I was going to say, like, moving to Saudi Arabia is not for everybody. I mean, moving anywhere is not for everybody. Some people just, they make a move to whatever country it is. And they're just like, I don't like it here. I want to leave. Scosmo said, why is it a rumor mill? I've never heard anything else ever be referred to as a mill. Because nothing else is referred to as a mill because it's just for rumors. RUMOUR or RUMUR. Or no, RUMOR, man. Tried that and then just dead. Ricomon also, reminding us sometimes they go to Uruguay. Or no, is that where he went? Where did Coates go? I don't remember. But I know I have a stack now with Coates and Mauricio Pereira. Nacional, it sucks. That one really sucks. And I lost Alexander Schultz also. Johanneton said saying a goalkeeper is better off playing for De Zerbi is wild. The save opportunities are there. The AA is absolutely there. I guess you could make the argument that he just needs to play all the time, and maybe that's the issue. But I don't know. City Keen said KDB and Salah are so underpriced because of the rumor mill. I mean, are they? I think you can make the argument that the risk is built in. And yeah, Coates went home, which doesn't really make me feel good about the possibility that he moves to another league that's covered. Yeah, okay, the rotation, sure, for De Zerbi is there. Absolutely. Although, do they have another goalie? Also, a chance Baez only places 50% of the time and randomly. Maybe. Or plays, yeah. I don't know. I don't follow that situation at all. I know Pau Lopez is gone, though. So anyway, so the difficulty with trying to plan this time of year is, so you have your cards and you want to be able to look at them and be like, yeah, this is a good lineup. And sometimes, you have like the best lineup that you want to play. These are the 5 best cards, but you just never know if you're going to play them at the same time. And that's kind of the issue with not necessarily planning ahead, but with just trying to visualize your cards. And Scosmo kind of made this point about himself, that he is a more kind of a visual person. And so just seeing like names in a spreadsheet doesn't really do it for him. Whereas like I use a spreadsheet to kind of like track my gallery. I can show you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up. This includes some of the terrible ideas that I have. Let me just take a screenshot of this one. I can't really share it that well. But I basically have a spreadsheet that looks like this for challenger, contender. I actually have another one that puts them all together because you can play super rares down. The shaded ones here are new season, but like this is how I can like visualize my gallery the best for me. And what I don't really do is make lineups from here. I will put like teammates together because I tend to play teammates together so that I know like these guys will ruin a lineup together, and like these guys will ruin a lineup together and stuff like that. Whereas Scosmo uses and I apologize, Scosmo, if I'm giving out so many secrets, but I don't think it's a big deal. But he uses a Miro board. I know Harry has been using Figma, but basically, it's just a place it's essentially 2024's Microsoft Paint, to be honest. But they have their actual cards like in different regions and lineups and like how they look. And it's just the way that they visualize things. And so it doesn't really matter what your process is. The kind of problem is you don't really know how often you're going to be playing them together, like your best lineups, your best cards together. And because we're in this kind of off season, you're not actually playing them. And so there's no vindication or proof that the guys that you want to use together will play together. So, Robbie said 0 confidence, 100% enjoyment. That's fine. So the the tricky thing is like the way that I've looked at my gallery, and Mike Baston here is going to probably make fun of me because I keep saying that I don't like to talk about my own gallery. I say this over and over again, and now I'm just going to keep talking about it. But the way that at least I have started to form my gallery is I'm probably going to run more team stacks and more basically league stacks. And this is something that Sean and I talked about on a strategy show a while ago, that if you're somebody who plays in a region that has multiple leagues, which we all do now, there is an advantage to taking just players from a single league, mostly because you know they'll always play at the same time. Whereas if you have a very like small and efficient gallery, and let's say you played champions and you were like, all right, I have some of these guys from Ligue 1 and some of the guys from the Prem and some guys from La Liga, like at some point there's going to be like a cup weekend, or they just have it off. And like all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I don't have a lineup this week because my goalie is from La Liga, but all my attackers are from the Bundesliga. And if they don't play at the same time, you're kind of stuck. And so what I've been trying to do with my own gallery is focus on fewer leagues that my cards are from, so that when Liga MX plays, I have a lineup in contenders. And when the J League is on, I have a lineup. And that obviously I'll have plenty of lineups when the Danish Superliga is going on, which is a week from Friday. Let's go. And generally, you don't want like so many players from the same league. And so what I've been doing is kind of duplicating players, but whatever. The difficulty is that I keep doing this and I keep putting like adding cards to my gallery, thinking that they're going to work well together. And what I haven't done for a good amount of time is go into the Sorare lineup builder and be like, are these guys going to actually have a week where they all have the matchups I want? And I will be honest that I have started doing it more and more. That I look at, we're coming up on, what is this, 491 that's coming up? I've looked at 494, which is when the 492, must be, 494 maybe, where the Danish Super League comes back. Game week 502 is going to be the new Sorare. So 501 is the last week for like cat modes and all-star. And so I've started now, and very loosely, obviously it's just on the Sorare lineup builder. It's not like I make those lineups now and I have to do something, but it just allows me to see like, oh, this is a good week for my cards. And I'm not necessarily going out of my way to, like if I have 4 really good cards for a lineup and I'm like, man, let me get a 5th one just to like make that lineup better. I think I'm not like done acquiring cards, but like I think I'm done like expanding a lot. And so if there's like another card that kind of fits the strategy, then sure, I'll add that. But for the most part, I'm trying to get fewer cards, or at least fewer players. And the reason for that is mostly promotion and relegation. And what I don't want is to have Division 1 entries and then the possibility that I have like a bad lineup that, my cards just don't have good matchups that week. And then I'm basically like signing up for relegation and I have to fight my way back up again. And it just feels like if I have more cards from the same leagues at least, or the same teams, then, if you have essentially stacks, and I think Nepenthes has kind of done this a while he does Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool maybe, that, every week one of them will have a good matchup. And so I'm kind of basically trying to copy that concept without spending a lot of money. Anyway, let me get back to the chat here. Mike said, I only have real confidence when the main Euro transfer window is shut. I'm not even sure I have confidence then, but it's the once the transfer window closes, like we have some sanity. It's going to be interesting when these like pre-order cards, like if players, like there will be cards, like pre-order cards that people buy that transfer, and those cards never get minted, and you're just always playing that kind of like pre-order card, which will be, I think it'll be fun at first at least. KB said, have you always been drinking this orange stuff? You seem to love it lately. It's just a soda stream with like it's tangerine maybe. It tastes like if you guys have like Sunkist or Fanta, or what are the other ones that, it's like an orange soda basically. Scosmo said, I struggle with my cards when they've moved clubs and my card is the old club. Makes me feel like the player is who they used to be, not who they are now, such as Jonas Hoffman at Gladbach. I have like a lot of Gladbach, or I have 2 Hoffman Gladbach cards. And yeah, he doesn't feel like the same guy. Anyway. Mike said that he's asked me to talk about, my cards, and I shy away. Yeah. But I meant like, you're going to make fun how I'm like, I'm not going to talk about my cards. And I'm like, this is why everyone should have a Magnus Matson. Anyway. Robbie said, same. I don't like talking about my gallery or how I play the game. For me, I like helping other people and follow their process. Pablo said, gallery confidence is 0, but it's a Sir Hiss problem now. Bye-bye contender. Pablo, I did see you sold a ton of cards to Sir Hiss, and it was, I mean, I was going to say it was like disappointing. I don't care. Good for you. I'm happy that you are happy. Tuggy said, gallery confidence 100%, so rare prize pool confidence 0%. Tuggy just discovered that maybe super rares could be improved, and he's decided that might happen. That so rare might take the chance to make super rare prize pools better after all these years. I probably should have put the other McDonald's comments on the screen. As Rikamon said, I want a Big Mac now. I had a Big Mac on Saturday? This past weekend, I had a Big Mac. It was delicious. KB said, I like theory crafting and somewhat planning, but I always get to the point that I need more goalkeepers, and that's where the fun ends. So it's funny you say that, because I almost traded away 2 goalkeepers yesterday. It was for another goalkeeper, but they are kind of the tickets. Quinny has said it for years that, goalkeepers are like your tickets to entries, and everything else is just kind of fun and games. And it does always feel weird giving up on goalies. Shout out Fabian de Kaiser for coming back from the dead. Way to be. So wonder if we get a celebratory Game Week 500 special. I thought about that, Scosmo, too. So the champion, like the new champions and all of that, launches the following weekend, like 502. And so it is kind of difficult. Like it feels weird that they would do like a big celebratory thing with none of the champion leagues running, but it does kind of give them an opportunity to like celebrate what they are, which is like a worldwide game with leagues from all over and managers from all over. And so maybe we do. I don't know. KB said, would love to be at that point. I just made the switch from challenger to champion and plan to have 3 Bundesliga teams and 2 Premier League teams for this season. Long term, of course, I want all 3. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of people do that, to be honest. Juju said, I have confidence in my gallery because I build 5% collections in every region, and it's the most fun for me, and they can move anywhere. I always have a place where they can play. Yeah. I mean, having more cards is more fun than having fewer cards. City Keen, are you going to be playing in season right away, Laird? I doubt it, to be honest. Yeah, I doubt I do. I don't I'm not sitting on like a huge ETH balance right now or cash balance, whatever. I obviously could just deposit, I guess. But yeah, I don't think so. I do play in-season contender right now, and I'll continue to do that. But I mean, I barely play champion anyway, and I don't play the prem. I don't know. I might just continue with the hipster leagues of challenger and contender, and just that's my role. Germ said the quarter pounder is better than the Big Mac, which is an absolutely absurd take. Absurd. Tuggy said the Whopper is better than the Big Mac. What is QP? I don't know what that is. Colonel Dickweed said, isn't the Coates situation a huge negative to your deep stacks of particular player strategies? So, yes, but, well, yes. Yes. I had a Coates super rare and rare. I've had those two cards forever, though. Like Coates is actually an interesting one because he's not, like, he's part of the strategy, but I didn't acquire those cards because of the strategy. But you're right. That is absolutely the negative of it. Yeah. When do we get 3 U23 lineups? I think that's game week 502 is when the new Sorare starts. That's what they said in the blog. Chani Sports in the house. What's up, Chani? Thanks for coming in. Rosso checking in from Twitch. Thank you. Rub also on quarter pounder team. So, like, if you wanted a quarter pounder, like if you want like a good hamburger, you don't go to Burger King, or you don't go to Burger King either. You don't go to McDonald's. Like the Big Mac, you can get, like, some places will make basically the equivalent of a Big Mac, but like a Big Mac is like, that is McDonald's. Secret sauce, nobody knows. It's a secret. But like, if you're just getting a burger, just go somewhere else. Venice says, can we get 3 U23 options on Sorare data lineup builder for 502? Maybe. I mean, my guess is we're waiting for Sorare to put that in the API. And it's not in yet. We really try to do very little manual short-term work because it ends up being a waste of time, to be honest. Chani said, here's the most important question of all. After the Euros, do weekend game weeks have numbers again? Yes. Have even numbers, excuse me. Yes. Weekends will be back to even numbers. And so, yeah, there you go. Robbie said, the best thing, my main club, Excelsior, got relegated, but all the good players moved to covered teams. Let's go. Let's go. Surface said, the prospect of the button has given me more confidence in my gallery. It's too long to type out why exactly, but I'm more open to max lineups all of 2024-25 now. That's all you have to say. And Peter Stoyanov has said kind of the same thing, that he's not somebody who has like hours of time before the deadline to put his lineups in. And I was actually talking about this with Gator Guy yesterday on the stream, how we both kind of like wait for the last minute. And PSU fans too thinks we're insane for doing this. Like, he probably puts his in Thursday night just to make sure. He's like, if the site goes down 2 hours before, like, you won't have lineups in, as if like they wouldn't extend the deadline for their own technical problems. But Peter was saying that the reason he doesn't have more cards, literally, is because he doesn't have the time to build the lineups and then submit them into Sorare. And so a new tool that can make a process that for somebody like Surface could take well over an hour to now take seconds. I mean, just think of how much more you'd be willing to do. And I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see more people playing more lineups because of this button. At least the people who Sorare data members who play a lot of lineups. I think we'll see more. And to be honest, I've been tinkering with the idea of doing some like really silly shit with limited lineups. Apologies for swearing. Just for fun. like I think I can't remember who I said it to, but if it was like, you pick a theme, Spanish players in the Prem, and like that's all I'll only play that. And what's funny is I was like, oh, I'll just do Scandinavian. And I'm like, oh wait, there are people who literally do this anyway, so that's already taken. But we'll see. We'll see. DJ Local, I was watching a stream with you on it yesterday about baseball. The API for baseball is different, and so it will not come when we do it for football. Like football is our priority right now. Nanzo says, maybe I'll make content with the time saved by the button. Now we're talking. Because Nanzo's 17. Now Nanzo's going to need a new button to open up all of his reward boxes at the same time because he probably wins 50 a game. Mike said, has the bug in the lineup builder been fixed where suggested in-season lineups include classic cards? So it's not a bug because we never actually made it to follow those rules, mostly because those rules were not very simple in the Sorare API. I don't know where we are on that, but I do know like that is something we are working on, Mike. That you will, like, if you have a suggested lineup right now, I think it doesn't even think about the in season. So yes, we're working on that, Mike. I don't know what the time frame is on that because I just don't. I have nothing to do with it, and so they prefer to keep me as far away from the important stuff as possible. So DJ, yeah, it feels like it should be easy. I completely agree with you. But because it's a different API that we mostly use, speak of the guy who might know. Yeah, DJ, I think at some point, we'll try to do that, but it will not be part of this first one here. But because I do know that, they have it for over at Sorare First Pitch, FP, sorry. I don't know if he still wants to call it First Pitch, but I know they do it for training too. Like that, absolutely in the plan somewhere. Nanzo said there is a claim all button to open the dozens of reward boxes every game week. I didn't even know that. Well, that's great. So that's unfortunately not saved time though. But Vita, in case you saw this or you were not here beforehand, Nanzo is going to start doing content because of all the time he saves from using the button whenever that happens. Braden says, I don't drink soda and never really have, but that soda stream thing makes me want to start having it. Yeah, it's delightful. It's delightful. Toby said, Scandy Discord celebrating hard because Midtjylland fans all tweeting about how terrible Elias has been in goal during preseason. Oh, let's go. Love that. Kid's not ready. Anyway. Nancy, do you want to do a strategy podcast? So Nanzo's here, so I feel weird talking about him like this, but Nanzo is incredibly good at talking about strategies without like showing his cards, literally and figuratively. And like, it's really hard to get good strategies out of Nanzo because the good ones he keeps for himself, which is how you win all the time. But anyway, Nanzo's going to do OnlyFans content. Okay. All right. Well, whatever floats your boat. Really, what we should be saying is like, buy more cards, spend more money on Sorare because of the button. And yeah, we'll see. So yeah. Oh, all right. You guys got me way off topic here. Not my fault at all. But back to the gallery confidence thing. One of the other tricky things about this summer that was very different from any other summer that we've had is the upcoming pre-orders and then in-season competitions where people are currently holding balances in order to buy the new cards. And you're going to be buying cards that may take a while to know if you got them right. And so you're in this period now where you're like, hopefully you're like, which cards you want to get when they're available. And you don't have any proof that it works until they launch. Like I don't know when the champion pre-orders cards start selling, but you won't be able to play them right away, like because the season wouldn't have started yet. And so the tricky thing is now, like, you can be confident in your ideas and you can go back and be like, oh yeah, well, this guy, these 5 cards would have won this last year, which like doesn't really matter, especially players who've like changed teams or teams that have changed managers or whatever. Or you're comparing it to a contest that doesn't exist anymore, like All-Star. And so the tricky thing is that we're all in this period right now where we're kind of like accumulating cards, and the wait to use them is just brutal. And the confidence you have in that card probably goes down. Like the moment you buy it, you're just like, let's go. I really want this card. And then you have it and you're like, I can't wait to use this card. And then you just start thinking, you're like, I wonder if it is good enough. And then you like have another day and you put it in a lineup and you're just like, oh man, those other guys are better. It's like, oh, it's not a great matchup. Oh, does he have a good one coming up? Oh, not really. And then you're just like, you slowly start to feel less confident about the cards that you're getting. Hopefully that doesn't happen. To be honest, I tend not to think that way, just like the way that my mind works, I tend not to. But the way that we're all kind of like, those of us who are accumulating cards now are in this point where we're just like not sure it's going to work. And it's just like a weird dynamic of the game. Vita said, Nanzo is one of the few who, despite being active in the community, recognizes it's a one versus all game, while we all naively give away all of our tricks. It is one of the best things about Sorare, and I think it was Haber who said it, that because there are so many people competing, you don't necessarily feel like you're competing against like one specific person, even though you're actually competing against 3,000 specific people, or however many are entering these things. And so, yeah, it's not like a, final at a poker table or something like that, or you're playing tennis where it's like, I just have to beat that guy. And yeah, it is kind of weird on that. KB said he misses the bird talk, which I never do on my own. Vita says, I even put mine into algorithms. I have 115 players in my want to buy 2024 in-season watch list. I'll have to truncate it a bit. Why would you have to truncate it? What's up, Cape Town King? What's up? Thanks for coming in. Benna, yes, you can put pre-order cards in training lineups as soon as you have them. Nanzo says, sometimes you have to decide if you want to be popular or you want to win. Love that line. Love it. Kai said, just bought a super rare from Nanzo while watching this stream. That's so meta. What did you buy? It's one of those things that it's like, we can just go look. I don't know what Kai's Sorare handle is, but I know Nanzo's. Hugo Larson or Huang J1? Two people I don't know. What's Hugo Larson? Okay. Little youngster. I tried to buy Nanzo, was it the Paulo Diaz super rare that I tried to buy for you for years? And then I saw you won one recently. You're like 17th Paulo Diaz super rare. KB said it's the same feeling you get after you drunk texted your ex thinking it was a great idea the night before. Okay. Mike says, let's face it, that I have a track record of being a card killer. That's not fair. That's not fair. GWOM said, FPL tweeted soon, and Nicola quote tweeted with the eyes emoji. Maybe he's like a FPL guy. Stefan said, what do you think about super rare in season? How much will Sorare give out before the first games? I have no idea what they're going to do about super rares. I'm trusting they know, but I don't. I'm hoping that tomorrow's announcement will give us a lot of information. I think one of the pieces that's really going to be important is finding out if how much of the potential card population is being sent out. And so that's what's getting it for me. Like, I actually don't care how they sell the cards, whether it's instant buy or auctions, but I think it's important to know how many will be sold like in the first 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, because the value of cards for in-season competitions is very different if 10 rares are going to be available for the first game week, or 30 or 50. And so I'm actually more wondering about that. I was also thinking about this. I'm not going to do this because obviously, like I said, I'm probably not buying cards right away, but it is interesting to me that the first rare that they sell on instant buy will most likely be the cheapest one that they sell in the pre-order. Because as we've seen for instant buy, when it works, like you buy one and then the next one is whatever percentage more. I don't know what it is. And so each one that gets bought, then the price will go up, right? And so theoretically, for a card that you're interested in and you want to get a good price, the auction is probably the best. But if the auction is not there, buying the instant buy earlier should be the lowest price, or it's the lowest that will be available. Johannes said, we still remember how you killed the limited market single-handedly. That's not fair. I use both hands. City Keen said, in-season cash prize pools stay the same irrespective of the number of cards sold. I don't know. Like, we don't know. So I think we'll find out tomorrow. For those of you who are watching this or listening to this on Wednesday, it should be tomorrow that they said they were having an announcement. Johnny said, is a sell-on fee not more beneficial to Sorare than dishing out 500 of a player's card? I mean, I think Sorare would love to sell every card, but like we wouldn't play. There's nothing to play for then. So they have a maximum number that they can sell because they have to have a number that they can reward. If there are no rewards, we don't play. Ricomon said, I can see them doing auctions for the first 10 cards in rare and then instant buy becomes available. I honestly have no idea what their plan is. That makes sense to me, but running 10 auctions of the same player for thousands of players, I don't think do they have enough time to do that? I don't think there's enough time to do that before starting instant buy and still having enough time before the season starts. Maybe it is. I can assure you I'm not doing the math on that. But that's my thought. You have to think of how many cards they have to sell if you're doing 10 auctions of every single player, 10 rares. And does that mean you're doing 100 limited auctions before you get to the limited instant buys? Surely not. Mike said, what is the total of mint? What is the percentage of mint total that can be auctioned now? Is it 60%? Wonder how soon they run out of cards to sell in rare. So it's not that it's a percentage of the total that can be auctioned. It's the percentage of the total that can be sold, which is obviously auctions or instant buys. And I think it's 60%, yes. Toby said instant buys will be live 2 to 3 days before the lock on game week 1 for champ, no matter how many were auctioned. Yeah, I think my thought is, will instant buys be available before that? Nanzo said, I can see a Dutch auction for the first few cards via instant buy. But a Dutch auction isn't an instant buy, right? A Dutch auction, it's not like the price drops every second. And so basically it's an auction. KB said, I can't wait for someone to drop 5K on the card next to Mbappe because they misidentified the card without the picture. What do you even think about that? I don't think that'll happen, but yeah, they will all look the same. It's like an auction market that's just like all the same. I like the idea. The pack idea is cool. Katie said, what do illiterate people do? I'm curious what the illiterate population on Sorare is. Good point. We do need to think of them. Thank you, KB, for making sure we didn't forget about the illiterate population of Sorare managers. We just get good deals. That's all. That's all. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be weird to see like lineups of people with just these pre-order cards. Tuggy, so there it is. They don't read. They listen to streams. I mean, you can watch. I don't put a lot, like they put this listen to stream. This is why I read the comments that are in the chat that I put on the screen. It's not for the people that listen to the podcast. It's for those who are watching and are illiterate. Anyway, is anybody like super confident in their cards? I imagine people like Nanzo don't care. He's just like, confidence doesn't matter. It's just you play your cards. And actually, Nanzo, when was the last time? So, okay. I was going to say, I was curious when the last time Nanzo bought a card was. So the last two cards that Nanzo bought was an Eric Williamson Super Rare and a Camilo Vargas Limited. You are wild, Nanzo. 640 limited, 620 rares, 886 super rares, 284 uniques. Man, I buy cards all the time. Yeah. It's funny, you win so many of them and then you sell a bunch. And so when I was looking at your transactions, it's tough to find. But you're right, you do. Ian said, I'm confident with the cards I have, but I still need to buy a few cards before the season starts. Yeah, I think we're all kind of like that. There's never a time where you don't need more cards. Like you can think that you have enough and you're just like, this is what I'm going to do. But to play the game as optimally as possible, you are always trying to acquire better cards. And there's probably no better example of that as this. For the illiterate population, this is Nanzo saying, I buy cards all the time. And he's got 886 super rares. Rikamon, will you be going for any collections with the new cards? So probably not, to be honest. But who knows? Not right away. And like, I think the one-ofs I think will be always crazy. And the jersey mints, maybe, I don't know. But like the Midtjylland collection that I put together, like you can get to 5% on a collection without any jersey mints and without any one-ofs or any special edition. Like as long as you just buy everybody from the market, from the primary market, you'll get your 5%. And like, if that's all you care about, that's cool. But, and so because of that, I don't see the reason to rush to buy them. Like you have to rush if you want the one-ofs, obviously. And I think Sorare won't do instant buys for those. And I wonder if they will do one-ofs or, well, I don't. Do the pre-order cards have serial numbers? Was that in there was like a, in the blog, let me see here. They showed like a picture, or maybe was it the blog or was it yeah, here we go. I'm just going to show, like, this is the Howland card. So it actually doesn't show serial numbers. This. Oh, it does. I'm sorry. It does. Okay. So yeah, there's the 4 of 10 right here. I don't want to copy the video address. Stop that. There we go. So, but I wonder if they'll have one ofs this way or not, or jersey mints. Like, I'm not sure. I hate you guys. I can read words, not numbers. Anyway, it's literally, yeah. Thank you guys. So I wonder if they'll just wait on those. And they do reward jersey mints sometimes. So it's not, there's not that. Vita says they will not do pre-orders for one ofs or jersey mints. So I wonder, that'll be actually pretty interesting. I wonder if we will actually see one ofs not be as expensive, because a lot of people buy the one ofs because they're the first one. Sometimes they're not the first anyway, but meaning the first card minted, but if there are already like 25 rares out there and they're like, hey, here's the one of, and then I wonder how many people who like wanted these cards like already have one. If you really just want the one of, like, are you willing to wait that long? It'd be a nice social experiment. But we'll see. Who knows? I mean, hopefully Sorare knows. I assume they know. But those are details not shared with me. But yeah, that's... Toby said, Sorare holding the one ofs and jersey men should help with the prize pools too. I don't think they reward one ofs, actually. Has anyone ever won a one of? Like, I've won a jersey mint, but Toby said, not random people being mega inflated because of the one ofs going for 500%. I think it would be fun if they announced, oh man, like a jersey mint special weekly where you won jersey mints of players. That would be fun. Yeah, Toby was saying you get the random 17-year-old being a tier 1 because the one of went for a lot. Yeah. I'm sure they'll fix it. Although they just had another one of those situations where somebody won a tier 1 of a guy who normally sold for like 85 cents and one card sold for $17. So they're like, oh, that's a star. Go get it. Or tier 1. Mike said, talking of new collections, how long can you leave it before you can't catch up on XP if you've used 3 level ups? You mean like for people against other people who build collections? I don't think... I continue to believe that 5-man stacks from the same team are usually suboptimal. And so people who, even if they're the top collector, like running the 5 players from that team is still not optimal. It's probably better to get somebody from another team. And yeah, I mean, somebody has to be at the top. And if you're going to run like 5 players from that team without like a differential, like if they're 5 very clear players, we'll call it 4 because everybody's going to play the goalkeeper. If there are 4 locked in players, like you have to know that if you are going to play them and other people play them, which we know they do, you have to find a differential, particularly in limited and rare probably too. Rare's a little tougher though. Like the collector leaderboards are much smaller and they're spread out. I became the number 1 collector for one of my collections this week, which I was pretty excited about. Germ said it's much more optimal with multi-entry, though. I actually don't think it does. I think people are going to run 3 suboptimal lineups. The optimal lineup is probably mixing those stacks, but people won't do it. It just doesn't happen. Like the peak outcomes, just like the attacking peak outcomes in a clean sheet, like don't happen enough. Toby said Malin starts. Wow. So picking Shaw over Trippier won't cost me that much in the projection come. Oh, Toby, what are you doing picking Shaw? Come on. Bezos is my daddy, checking in from Twitch, said suboptimal equals fun. I think there are ways to be suboptimal and fun. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. There are ways to be optimal and fun, but you're probably right. Most fun lineups are suboptimal. I can hear PSU fans too just being like, suboptimal lineups are never fun. You're just being stupid. But he doesn't know anything about fun. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's getting very excited for this England-Netherlands game. We have a good number of people who watch these from England. And so you're probably not excited, actually. There's probably more nervous. Ooh, Daniel, optimally suboptimal. That should be on a t-shirt. So the yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I got thrown off by all this England talk, which I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I think we're all really excited for the Euros to end so we can get back to our normally scheduled Sorare. I say that, and then I was looking at the fact that I have some players in the Olympics. And yeah, so there's that too. Oh yeah, I guess we only have 2 more games left for the Meeting Zidane competition. So good luck to everybody competing in that. And yeah, I'm going to go. I feel like I'm just starting to ramble a little bit. I'll be back tomorrow with Andy to talk about the announcement that hopefully gives us all the confidence in the world that we can win a ton at Sorare. So thank you everybody for coming. If you could please like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I was just about to say something. Sorry, I looked over. Peter said we love a ramble. I'm not rambling today. Well, I mean, I have been. Dizzy, is Leagues Cup part of Challenger? No, it's not. It shouldn't be, at least. I don't know if it's not, but it shouldn't be because it's one team in one side in Challenger, one in Contenders. But anyway, yeah, back tomorrow to talk about the new Sorare, and hopefully we'll get all the answers, and there won't even be a need for an FAQ, and we'll just read it. Maybe there's a video, and we'll be like, this all looks great, and we'll feel 100% confident about Sorare like we all should be. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming, and good luck out there.